Hello and welcome to the agenda. I am Ajay Kaul. Today we will try to analyze why India is not self-reliant in defense sector. India has got potential and talent. Still, we have to depend on imports to meet our defense and security needs. Even 73 years after independence, we have not been able to become self-reliant in defense sector. This is a matter of concern since we are faced with active threats from our two neighbors, China and Pakistan. What are the reasons that we have not been able to harness our potential? Can we become self-reliant in defense sector and how? We will discuss such questions and seek answers to these in the agenda today. We have with us two experts, retired Group Captain of Indian Air Force MJ Augustine Vinod and Dr. Ravi Gupta, who has served as Director Public Interface at the Defense Research and Development Organization, which works under the Defense Ministry. But before we begin our conversation, let's have a look at this small report.
Why can't India become self-reliant in defense sector? This is a nagging question and a crucial aspect which needs to be addressed if India is to emerge as a superpower in the current century. India is a technological giant and Indian brains have been contributing immensely to the high-tech programs of even the superpowers like the USA. However, nurturing and encouragement of domestic talent within India has been lacking. Coupled with this, there has been a skewed policy of successive governments to resort to imports rather than focusing in indigenous development of weapon system. It is even said that attempts to develop indigenous military systems in India have been sabotaged from time to time at various levels just because some vested interests wanted imports. It is widely believed that importing of defense systems became lucrative for some vested interests in the successive governments because of the kickbacks involved. Moreover, there has been disconnect between the developer, that is the government-owned DIDO, and the user, that is the armed forces. While DIDO has the capabilities to develop various kinds of systems required by the armed forces, the decision makers in the armed forces may not be quite aware about those, and hence the easy route of imports is taken. There has also been a lacunae on account of using transfer of technology, which has been part of imports of a number of military systems. The current government has been giving a push to indigenous development of defense system, and it needs to be seen how much it succeeds. Bureau Report.
Welcome our guests, Group Captain Vinod and Dr. Ravi Gupta. Welcome to the program. The part 2 kind of show on defense modernization of India. So let me begin by asking Dr. Ravi Gupta about, we have the potential, we have the brains. Still, we have not been able to become self-reliant in defense sector. What is the explanation?
See, our country is a unique country where we have got every resource to become not just self-reliant but become the world's largest exporter of arms. Now, where are we lacking? There are just two things. One is the intention and second is the corruption. Except for these two, there is no other problem. We made a good beginning. We set up, invited top experts from the world. Dr. Blackett was the Nobel laureate and who had played a vital role in helping Britain win the war. He gave a lot of suggestions. Those suggestions were implemented, rather not implemented in the right manner. And we made a beginning by giving an advisory role to DRDO. We, instead of focusing our attention to self-reliance, we focused our attention to imports. So that is a basic issue.
Okay.
Now, if you want, I think later on we can delve into their details how the things moved since 1950 till date.
Okay, Group Captain. Earlier you mentioned about that 9 to 5. The government basically system will not be able to take us to that level where we can be self-reliant in defense manufacturing. Can you please elaborate on that?
Thank you, Ajay, for firstly making this part 2, back to back on second day itself.
Yeah.
Because a lot of
That was the promise,
people
no?
who were following me. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
A lot of people who are following me, they said, sir, ये थोड़ा सा और इसके बारे में विस्तार से बताइए. मैं बोला, don't worry, Ajay जी, एक और program ला रहे हैं.
Yeah.
So be that as it may, 3 important things, Ajay ji. We covered that a little bit yesterday,
Yeah.
but I will explain it further. First and foremost, if I want jalebi, I want to eat jalebi, can I be sold samosa? I cannot be. So I need to find out what is the need of the hour. Yesterday we talked about China's exports. Before China starts exporting anything, it finds out what is the need of the world today, especially in the African countries.
let me help you there. So if we talk about the needs, so if you talk about assault rifles, okay, if we talk about 155 howitzers, so after we bought from Bofors, and there was a controversy, even that has happened 30 years back, maybe 40 years back. Even down the line, 40 years back, we have not been able to manufacture an indigenous 155 howitzer, or we have not been able to manufacture our the assault rifles. So these are our
Two
needs.
reasons for that.
These are our needs. Yeah.
2 reasons for that. First and foremost, Bofors hua hai, Bofors, so that something similar should not happen with me. So stall everything. Any file that goes, usko stall kar do. Ajay ji, I was Director Air Defense, looking after many inductions into the Air Force. Till last year. I have no qualms in saying, because this is almost like an open source information. Files earlier, 4, 5 years, 6 years ago, used to take months to get clear. Every time you are running after a file, as if it is your own requirement. Today it is not like that. Today, from the Babu side, from their office, they are chasing you. Sir, ये case हुआ था, अभी we have given our tippani. Please give your tippani and move forward. So there was a policy paralysis, there was a decision paralysis. Decision paralysis और paralysis का reason क्या है आप पूछेंगे? उसको I get kind of crystal gazing. The biggest crystal gazing for that is that I should not put my signature and end up in a problem. So that fear had gripped post Bofors. I'm telling you this. Fear had gripped in many people's minds, especially people up the ladder who are putting their signature.
That may be for imports. I am saying, why couldn't we develop such a weapon system? Maybe I'll ask Dr. Gupta about it.
Yes.
No, we developed. Soltam बनाया हमने.
No, that
कुछ import किया, कुछ हमने indigenously बनाया. We made.
I think DRDO may be able to say something. Yeah.
I am very thankful to the Captain Augustine. Last time he mentioned about shifting goalposts.
Yes.
Now that has been one reason of hindering the development. Now I will tell you why. And he said, today he gave the example of jalebi and samosa. Very true. If samosa is required and we give jalebi, it is wrong. But what happens when the samosa specifications are given? And when ultimately samosa is ready in the plate, at that time you are told, oh no, we wanted a samosa with butter. Okay, after some time we had butter also, but no, we wanted a butter, not butter, but we wanted butter. So that kind of thing has been going on, shifting goalposts. But more important is, because your question was why development is not taking place. Development has been sabotaged. See, when DRDO was formed, the charter of DRDO clearly states that you will be developing only those items which are asked to develop. So we could not, we were constrained to take up development of our own. Now if samosa is asked without butter, we cannot add butter to it. Even though we know that yes, butter will be going to need it, we need it at 10 years later on. I give you an example of 105 gun. Since you mentioned about the field gun,
No, I did not mention 105 because we know we manufacture them indigenously.
Yeah, you mentioned.
But I'm talking about Bofors, which have been effective in Kargil and other.
Exactly.
So I'm talking about 155.
Very, very true. I'm giving you an example. I'm linking the entire gun development program. In the 70s, during 1970s, Indian Army and DRDO, the laboratory in Pune, ARD, they developed a wonderful gun, 105 Indian field gun, which is still working.
That I know.
And still,
yeah.
Okay. Now what happened? Any other country, what would have happened? The laboratory would have been asked to develop a higher gun.
Upgrade it, yeah.
Upgrade it?
Yes.
No. We were suddenly told that no, you whatever you want to do, but 155 gun is being imported from Bofors. Bofors or whatever it is, the tender was floated. Now, as per the Government of India rules, the laboratory could not get a project unless there is a specific requirement given from the services. Now there is no requirement.
So
we have to stop the work.
Dr. Gupta, I'm talking about post Bofors. After there was a controversy, there was sanction on the Swedish company. So we required that system. But we could not.
Give me 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Give me 2 minutes, I will complete the story.
Okay.
So Bofors was imported. As a result, the team had to be disbanded. See, the expertise is not in the buildings.
Okay.
It is not in the machines. The expertise is in the people.
Right.
So next 10 years, what happened? Most of the people who had developed 105 gun and almost worked halfway through for development of 155 gun, most of them were either retired or on the verge of retirement. Still there was hope. The revised specifications were coming in. Already ARD started work on 155 gun, a new one, post Bofors. After 4 years of delaying, once again the same story was repeated. We were told that no, we have taken a decision to import. Tenders were floated. Now the entire expertise was systematically killed. With tender after tender, the companies went on getting blacklisted.
Right.
Our Mr. Clean Minister, every time he says, oh my God, once again there is corruption, I am asking who is responsible?
Right.
See, if there is somebody taking bribe, there is somebody giving bribe. You are blaming the company, foreign company, for giving bribe. Where is the person who has taken the bribe?
Right.
If a minister has failed to check that, he must resign. But no. And 10 years later, see the audacity. DRDO was blamed that you could not develop expertise for giving a gun to army. What a ridiculous thing.
So, Group Captain.
Nobody talks that the black and white rule says that DRDO will not develop unless it is asked to develop.
Right.
Now, did somebody ask? Nobody asked. In fact, our project was sabotaged and finished.
So, Group Captain, as Dr. Ravi Gupta says, there was sabotage over the years, over the decades. So, shouldn't there be a maybe commission of inquiry to look into all these aspects? Who sabotaged? Because it relates to national security. Group Captain Vinod.
For the sake of our viewers,
yeah,
इसको मैं थोड़ा सा simplify करता हूँ, because doctors put it in a manner that maybe 40-50% will not understand वो क्या बोल रहे हैं.
Yes, sabotage, they will understand. People will understand sabotage.
No. It is, sabotage is an action. Against what? Let me explain this to you.
Yeah.
Say Bofors, take an example. Benchmark was Bofors. Okay? Bofors ke time mein what happened? Bofors was a good gun. But lot of kickbacks happened. Lot of money flew in.
Right.
Bofors was thrust down our throat. etc., etc. Now, how do we trust something else down the throat of armed forces? How do we do that? Most जो इंडिजिनस है उसका गोल पोस्ट शिफ्ट करते रहो, उस पे पॉलिसी पैरालिसिस लाओ. Do not sign that document for a long time. Now, मरता क्या न कर. Armed forces is desperate for something. We don't have anything made in India, or if it is made in India, that has been on that the signatures have not been put. Now armed forces is desperately looking outside, and someone from outside and comes and says, "See, this is available. I can give it to you within 1 week, 10 days, 1 month. I can give it to you."
Right.
Now the desperate armed forces running towards that. Now this is what is the main reason of sabotage. This was, I would say, a chatur way of bypassing the indigenous project. It is anti-Atmanirbhar that was systematically done so that we import more stuff, pay more money and get less stuff.
So that was a...
Now let me quickly give you one more Ajay, quickly let me give you one more parallel. When USSR collapsed, what happened? Till the collapse of USSR, they had lot of innovations in the pipeline. Su-30 was the last aeroplane that they made and flew, and after that nothing came out till Pak effect. Like Dr. Cover, it is not, the strength is not the technology, the strength is people.
Right.
If there is someone, Mikhail Groyevich, they were never taken out of the company. They became old, 90 years old in the company, and they died of a natural death, and they continued working till their last breath. Today,
Captain,
retire
so that brings us to the same question. My question is, if there was sabotage over the decades, hurting our national security interests, should there be not a commission of inquiry to fix blame or fix responsibility, who was behind it and why?
We are living in a utopian. नहीं, उसमें से आधे से ज़्यादा जनता are dead and gone.
So we have to live with it.
I'm telling you. But that is why what we discussed yesterday, since this is a thread of yesterday, okay, let us move on. Jo hua, so hua. But from now onwards, we are on the right direction, Ajay. Believe you me. This Atmanirbhar Bharat, make in India.
What is the direction? Can you elaborate? What is the direction?
See, vocal for local.
That is a slogan. I'm talking about concrete. That is a slogan. I'm talking about concrete steps.
Today, if you start,
are we?
2 decades will take minimum.
No. Is there a blueprint for developing maybe 155 mm, or is there a blueprint for developing something else, some other weapon system? Is there some concrete
your
plan?
Vision has to be a long term, medium term, and a short term vision. So there is something called LTIPP. But the LTIPP looks at short term, maybe slightly more than short term.
So I'll ask Dr. Gupta. Dr. Gupta, is there under Atmanirbhar program, is there any concrete plan of action?
Definitely. As far as DRDO is concerned, right from the DSO base, Defense Science Organization created in 1948. From the scientist side, plan has always been there.
No, I am talking about.
Yes.
Under Atmanirbhar program, is there something new from now?
Yes.
What are those? Please specify.
Basic things, Ajay, will remain the same. Because the technology development to production, inspection, acceptance, entire thing. Now, Atmanirbhar is a slogan. What is being done is that now there is emphasis on buying from local sources.
No, but we should have those. We should have
it.
The emphasis is fine. Emphasis is fine to procure from local sources. But where is the product?
Now, product is there. Okay, product is there. Let me complete the example of the gun itself. Since we have spent so much time on the gun, and I've given this story in very detailed in my book. What happened next? In the middle of the last decade, DRDO got the blame that they could not develop a gun. Nobody talked about why. When Dr. Saraswat took over as DRDO chief in 2009, the first thing he did was form a committee. He said, nothing doing, whether suddenly give me a requirement or not, we will go ahead and develop technologies. The result is ATAGS, Advanced Towed Artillery Gun System. It's a complete system, entirely a unique system, one of the best in the world, and has created world records. In the entire world, the longest, the range, that is a world record in this system. So, gun has been already developed. Same thing is being repeated in other systems also. You name any system, okay.
Okay, I will name one system. I'll ask Group Captain Vinod. I'll ask one more system. That's 5th generation fighter aircraft, which I think we had a plan to develop with Russia. I think it was the agreement was signed 10 years back. 10 years back or something. Where is it? What is the status?
Sir, let's, instead of talking about one particular project, I will address your question in a larger manner.
No, I want to ask, what is the status, since you were in Air Force with until recently, what is the status of 5th generation fighter aircraft?
Is FGFA.
Yeah.
Let's talk about FGFA. Now, FGFA, Ajay ji, had 3 main ingredients. I go back to what doctor said. One is the operational requirement, जिसको OR बोलते हैं. So you give a OR, DRDO works on a particular OR. They reach about 70%. Suddenly you increase another theta to this OR. In our beautiful country, this can happen. None of the developmental agency all across the world, this does not happen. You freeze the operational requirement and tell organization like DRDO to work towards that goalpost or that requirement with a capability to add sometimes later in the midlife upgrade. You cannot, like, look at Tejas for example, what we started with and what we ended up with.
Right.
Now we wanted to shove so many things into that aeroplane. Please operationalize the hone do. Let it first take off in the original OR that was designed. So that is why I say, I told this to the who's who of DRDO. I don't want to name them on the program today. I said that DRDO needs to have a business person, an operational person, board, helping out the scientists in selling their ideas, in channelizing their ideas. It cannot be just as, a scientist vertical. No organization has it. You have CTO in an organization, you have a CFO in an organization, and you have a CEO in an organization. ये तीनों के बिना कोई भी organization नहीं चलेगा, sir. But whereas DRDO is a scientist-heavy organization. Now, what is the problem in inducting people like me? Who have spent 31 years as in an advisory board, who sit down there and guide them by this is what is required for armed forces, and that is how you sell your stuff to armed forces. Not let somebody in Israel or somebody in France come and sell their stuff to armed forces. But
Group Captain, if you talk about FGFA, the proposal was there, everything was in place, DRDO had no role in it, you just had to develop it.
Believe me, 90% of the people, even today, and the doctor will bear with me, do not know what is the capability of our own DRDO. Why? Because DRDO is not going and selling itself. People who are taking decision, I have, believe me, when I told somebody, sir, ये हमारे DRDO के पास है, he said, नहीं, Augusti नहीं है, Augusti इसकी नहीं है, नहीं sir, मैं बोला है, आप फोन घुमाइए तुरंत so person को पूछिए. Then when he called up, and he is the person who is going to sign for this multi-million-dollar deal.
Right.
He said, oh, अपने पास है? Now you tell me, can this happen in any country?
No.
No, my heart pains when I tell you this.
Yeah, everybody's heart.
Why is this happening? It is not our fault. It is I squarely hold DRDO responsible. They should do every month one program, call all the important people and say, this is what I have done, and this is what I am doing, and this is what I am thinking to do.
Okay,
Are
we
they
will,
doing that?
or we'll seek a DRDO view on this, Dr. Gupta.
Whatever the Captain Augustine has said, many things I agree with him. But at the same time, I must emphasize that end of the day, DRDO remains a government organization working under the overall ambit of Ministry of Defence. The conduct rules, the other government of India rules are so strict and very well laid down. Without certain clearances, can you believe, till 2008, there was no public interface. Whatever is coming in media is coming. No, there was nobody to counter it or give the truth, whatever is the fact. So why? 1948 to 2008, almost 50 years gone, then only a Directorate of Public Interface was created, of which I was a director.
Right.
And now, similarly, getting the project, I give you one constraint, that unless there is a specific requirement, you cannot work, go ahead. And you talked about fifth generation fighter aircraft. DRDO, if it is given to DRDO itself, we were never interested in any kind of collaboration because FGFA is within our reach. AMCA was being mooted. 2011, AMCA was on the drawing board and blueprint was ready. But specific operational requirements were yet to come. And first of all, let me make very clear, I am not blaming the armed forces for that. I told you last time also, capital procurement is not under the professional hands.
We have talked about it. Yeah, please.
Yes. So, professional hands they cannot decide. Even if the Air Force is knowing that yes, what they want, even if they know that yes, DRDO has it, there is somebody else in between. And then there are political bosses. So, can anybody, either DRDO chief or Army chief or Air Force chief, can they go against the orders? No, they cannot. It is a disciplined force, whether it is forces or whether it is DRDO. We are disciplined law. We will go by the orders.
Key takeaway is there is a need to restructure both these organizations. जी मैं खरीदार हूं, ये देने वाले हैं, आपस में ये बात नहीं करते, आपस में एक दूसरे की दर्द नहीं समझते, आपस में एक दूसरे की रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं समझते. Why is it not happening? Because there is no, in this Venn diagram, these two circles are separate. They are not, there is no overlap.
They have been kept separate, deliberately, by the higher ups.
Sir, it is very easy to point finger at
No. Let me tell you, wherever it is not that always it is true, there are many cases where the user and DRDO and the production agencies have come together. I can give you examples. One basic thing is, wherever imports were not allowed or not possible or feasible, things have developed fantastically. You take out the strategic missile program. Nobody would give you missiles like Agni or Prithvi. What happened? In a very short time, 1983.
Dr. Gupta, we are short of time. We know missile program has been a big success for DRDO.
Big success.
Yeah.
Only one reason, because imports were impossible.
Right. But as Group Captain...
Business development officer, kahan hai? Who is developing business for DRDO? Who is developing business for HAL?
Right.
Can a person, without developing the business, can that organization go forward?
So I think
any organization you pick it up.
We are run out of time, so I think there is a valid point that maybe there needs to be a relook at the systems that are in place.
Structure.
And maybe restructure the things, and then only I think we can think about becoming self-reliant in defense sector. But thank you both of you for participating in this debate.
Thank you, Ajay. Thank you for the line.
Thank you, sir.
This is all in the agenda today. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with another important topic on Monday. Till then, goodbye.